Thanks to robotic technology and high-definition cameras that Explorer robots incorporate, an impressive capture is achieved on the planet Mars. Welcome to a new documentary. If it is the first time, I introduce myself. I am the Engineer Hiddekel Morrison and I appreciate you decide to see this educational content. In this issue we will reveal the report released by the United States Space Agency, NASA, with new interesting information about the Red Planet. Join me in this new educational adventure from the perspective of an engineer. Let's start. This is the Rover Curiosity Explorer robot of the United States National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, the oldest of the agency's still active robots that travels the Red Planet and continues to make amazing contributions, celebrating its 10th year on Mars on August 5, 2022. In its most recent months of travel, the Curiosity rover has been traveling through a transition zone from a clay-rich region to one filled with a salty mineral called sulfate. While the science team focused on the clay-rich and sulfate-laden regions for evidence each might offer about Mars's watery past, the transition zone is also proving to be scientifically fascinating. In fact, this transition may provide the record of a major change in Mars climate billions of years ago that scientists are only beginning to understand. The clay minerals formed when lakes and streams once passed through Gale Crater, depositing sediment in what is now the base of a region on Mars in which Curiosity sits and has been called Mount Sharp, a mountain of 5 kilometers high whose foothills Curiosity has been climbing since 2014. On this mountain in the transition zone, Curiosity's observations show that streams dried up and sand dunes formed on top of lake sediments. Let's see below the new capture of the robot Rover Curiosity and the valuable explanations given by NASA. But first, I ask you to support us by liking this video, sharing this video with your contacts, and subscribing to this channel, turning on notifications, so with your support, we can continue to frequently generate interesting documentaries on aerospace technology and the universe. Thank you for contributing to the creation of educational content. These striking rock formations provide evidence of a dry climate in the Red Planet's ancient past. NASA revealed that Curiosity captures stunning views of a changing landscape on Mars. The striking rock formations documented by the rover provide evidence of a dry climate in the Red Planet's ancient past. NASA explained that the lacustrine deposits that had been evidenced for years below in the region that Curiosity explores are no longer appreciated. Instead, you see a lot of evidence of drier climates, like dry dunes that occasionally had streams around them. Highlighting NASA that this is very important because that is a big change from the lakes that persisted for perhaps millions of years before. As the rover climbs higher through the transition zone, it detects less clay and more sulfate. Curiosity will soon drill the last rock sample it will take from this area, providing a more detailed look at the changing mineral composition of these rocks. Unique geological features also stand out in this area. The hills in the area likely began in a dry environment of large windswept sand dunes, which hardened into rock over time. Interspersed in the remains of these dunes are other waterborne sediments, perhaps deposited in ponds or small streams that once weaved between the dunes. These sediments now appear as stacks of scaly layers resistant to erosion, like one nicknamed the bow. What makes the story richer and even more complicated is the knowledge that there were multiple periods when groundwater flowed and flowed over time, leaving a jumble of puzzle pieces for Curiosity scientists to piece together. An accurate timeline. The passage of time through the 10 years of operation of the Curiosity rover led to the fact that on June 7, 2022, Curiosity entered a function known as safe mode after detecting a temperature reading in an instrument control box inside the rover body of the rover that was warmer than expected. Safe mode occurs when a spacecraft detects a problem and automatically shuts down all but the most essential functions so engineers can assess the situation. Although Curiosity exited safe mode and returned to normal operations 2 days later, NASA engineers are still analyzing the exact cause of the problem. They suspect safe mode kicked in after a temperature sensor provided an inaccurate measurement, and there's no sign it will significantly affect rover operations, as backup temperature sensors can ensure electronics inside the rover's body do not get too hot. That apparent electronic wear is not the same, as we have already shown and explained in other videos here on our channel. The rover's aluminum wheels also show signs of wear. On June 4, 2022, the engineering team instructed Curiosity to take new photos of its wheels, something it had been doing every 1,000 meters to check its general condition. The team found that the left center wheel had damaged one of its claws, the zigzag treads along Curiosity's wheels. This particular wheel already had 4 broken claws, so now 5 of its 19 claws are broken. The previously damaged claws attracted attention online recently because some of the metal skin between them appears to have fallen off the wheel in recent months, leaving a gap. The team has decided to increase the image of the wheels to every 500 meters, a return to the original cadence. A traction control algorithm had reduced tire wear enough to justify increasing the distance between images. NASA highlighted that they have already been able to verify in laboratory tests on planet Earth, in a replica they have of the Curiosity rover, that they can drive safely on the wheel rims if necessary. Indicating that, if it ever gets to the point where a single wheel has broken off most of its claws, they could do a controlled brake to shed whatever pieces remain. Explaining that, due to recent trends, it seems unlikely that they would need to take such action. NASA says the wheels hold up well and provide the traction we need to continue your important climb up that Martian mountain you're on. What do you think of these new findings of the old, but efficient Rover Curiosity Explorer robot? I read them in the comments of this video. As usual, we appreciate you informing us. It is a real pleasure to be able to provide you with the main news, trends and developments about the most important aspects of aerospace technology and the universe, from the perspective of an engineer. I am the Engineer Hiddekel Morrison, and I invite you to meet again in a future installment.